And well, Spurs have just officially sacked Thomas Frank as manager after a 2-1 loss to Newcastle recently. They're currently 16th in the table. As you can see, that's currently where we had them in this series anyway. With a bunch of big injuries to the team. It's going to be a tough first season as manager, or I should say half season as manager of Spurs, because I've been brought in as manager to add some stability back into this team. Well, let's get into the Spurs series. If you're going to enjoy the first episode, drop a like and subscribe. When I road to 2,000 subscribers, all help getting there. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get into the first episode. And well, my first game as Spurs manager couldn't be bigger. It's going to be the North London derby at home now against Arsenal. So we have a pretty decent, well, we could get a win here against Arsenal. Arsenal right now is at the top of the table. And if I manage to beat Arsenal here, at least get a draw to show some progress for the team, then we could possibly go on a good run for the season. So we're still not in the Champions League, and we have 12 games after the season. And as we know, we currently sit, 17th in the table IRL, 16th in the series, with European football being only 11 points away or so. As you can see right there on 40 points in 6th are Liverpool. And that would be big for us to try and get to Conference League. But a top 10 finish for me is what I want this season for us to do. And, well, there's going to be stuff on the line. So, see, with us underperforming, we most likely will have to sell some big players next season. And, well, let's get straight into this game against them. And as you'll see by the squad, we do obviously have a bunch of big injuries. We switched to 4-2-1-3, but the likes of, Richarlison and Pedro Porro are going to be back in a day's time, so that's pretty decent for us. Madison's going to be out for 128 days of an ACL injury. We have Bergvall back in, 2 months. We've got Bentancur back in 2 months as well. Kudus back in a month. And Ben Davies, the player we're going to let go at the end of the season, back in a month as well. So we've got a bunch of decent injuries like Kudus, Bentancur, Bergvall, Madison, where we players that we would like to have in the team. And our bench is looking decent, but not great. Our team's looking pretty decent as well, with some young talents in the team that we can develop. And midfielder Gallagher and Archie should be pretty good for us. Let's get into our first game as manager against Arsenal and hopefully show some progress with the Spurs team and hopefully somehow maybe get at least a point against Arsenal in my first game as manager. And well, as Arsenal start this game, drop in the comments down below players you think we should sign in this team, and if you think we should sell some big players, because the likes of, Victoria's looking likely to leave Spurs next season. Destiny Doji's been linked to moves away. Romero and Pedro Porro have been linked to Atletico Madrid over the years. There's a bunch of big players that could leave this team if we don't maybe finish in the top 10, if we don't show at least some fight and perform well in the Champions League. Spurs have been such a weird team this season. In England, in domestic competitions, have been poor. But in the Champions League, we get a good chance to have Odobert playing right wing for us. And Odobert here. Back into Solanke. So I finished my fault once we finish this attack. Archie great. In here to Matthias Tell, who turns. And again, Tell, the Frenchman, hits it straight at Rayado. But as I was saying, Spurs this season in the Champions League have been incredible. But when it comes to domestic football, they've been poor. Knocked out of both cup competitions fairly early on. Currently 17th in the table. You see, injuries have been taking a part of them. Also, they started the season off pretty well as Trossard shoots. Vicario makes a save though. Gallagher blocked it, but it still goes through to Zubimendi, who's driving forward. Trossard from a Brighton man. There's great defender from Jed Spence. Solanke forward into Odobert. The pace of the two Frenchmen down the wing should be big for us this season. Odobert running through. Could he open the scoring? Now Odobert's done so. Playing out of position, technically isn't a right wing in the game. Doesn't have it as a position. If I get my words, that'd be great. But I'm going to train him to be a right wing. He's got his first goal of the season in the Prem. And Wilson Odobert last FC was a great player for us in the team at left wing. And could be a great player for us at right wing whilst Mohamed Kudus is injured. And well, we take the lead against Arsenal at home. Odobert with a goal. And could this be a big turning point in our season? As I've been appointed as manager, as Thomas Frank's been sacked, am I about to turn the Spurs team around and make it a team that can once again challenge for trophies next season, probably anyway. But if I do win the Champions League this season, I will do a season 2. There's a good chance that I will actually win the Champions League, because usually, I win the Champions League pretty quickly with teams, especially if you are still in the competition like we could do here with Spurs. If I do so, then that would be massive and very unrealistic. But Odobert running through. There is Xavi Simons and Arsenal. Seems to be rocked as Gabriel blocks the shot from Simmons. It's going to be a corner for us. He can get it forward with one last attempt at it. Romero. Solanke. Good move there from him. Can Solanke double a lead for the hot hand break? He can't. It's a poor finish there. Should have passed it across. Lovely move there from him. Archie Gray hit to Simmons. Odebert. Through to Solanke. Great move, Solanke. Finesse. And he misses. That was a great effort, but just wide of the post. I think he's very underrated. Trossard shoots. Vicario, comfortable save. We're just under pressure from them, trying to just maintain this 1-goal lead. Great. Solanke, free to Tell. And Tell cuts inside the former Bayern Munich talent. Hits it, and it's 2-0. Matthias Tell doubles our lead against Arsenal, who have not performed in this game. They have been awful. Genuinely, they've done nothing going forward. And defensively, they've been fairly hard to beat, yes, but overall, we've scored 2 goals against them, so not that hard to beat, but we're cut inside. Matthias Tell bends into the far corner and doubles our goal tally in this time. The two Frenchmen, the 2 wide players on the score sheet. Trossard. Gallagher blocks. Good steal there from Spence. Can I carry it forward to find Kolomowani with the pace? Eloni gets it to Kulusevski. Swedishman back into Saar. In it to Odebert. And Saliba steals it. Oh, I wanted one more. I wanted to just bait the challenge of Saliba then and turn and take the shot. Well, it's a 2-0 win at home against Arsenal. In my first game as manager, we beat top of the league, the North London rivals. And well, Mikel Arteta, people are going to be asking questions of him because he's been beaten by us, who are currently 17th in the table, IRL. It's a big win for us. Odebert and Tell on the score sheet. An overall pretty decent game from us. A good performance. Arsenal didn't perform in this game. The Solanke man of the match. I believe he got both assists, if I'm not mistaken. He played great as striker, as a more of a creative player. We do expect him to score goals for us. And overall, a great start to our series here. And well, before we get into our next game, and we're going to quickly talk about transfers, because like I said, some players have been linked with moves away. Vicario has been linked to Inter Milan as the successor to Jan Sommer, and well, he said it's open to the move back to Italy, with Spurs obviously underperforming this season. It could be a player that's most likely going to leave. Romero has been linked with Atletico Madrid over the past couple of years and Barcelona, etc., so he could be a player that leaves. Destiny Doji, also a big player as well. Mickey van der Ven's been linked with moves away. And also players like Pedro Porro is now back from injury, has been linked with transfers in the past. And luckily we now have lots of Richarlison back from injury, which was to see. But in terms of transfers being linked to the team, Robin Rose has been linked as the successor to Vicario in goal if they do sell him. And how good Rose can be from our Fiorentina, so he was a goalkeeper in that one, and he was great. But in terms of other options we do have, we have Anton Trubin from Benfica, who recently scored a big goal for them against Real Madrid to win them the game, I think it was. And he could be a great goalkeeper for us, the Ukrainian shot stopper. Could be another option instead of Rose to come into the team. Trafford would be a cheaper option from Man City, right now their backup goalkeeper. And it could be our first-in goalkeeper in this team here, and would be a great player for us to have in the team. Other than that, Martin van der Voort from Leipzig, obviously he's the lowest rated of the 5. But he does have 90 potential and could be a great goalkeeper for us in the team. As a cheap option again, is like the cheapest option here, due to him being the lowest rated, but obviously would be a decent goalkeeper. And other than that, we've got Bart Verbruggen, the Dutchman from Brighton. It could be a great goalkeeper for us to bring into the team. And other than with those transfers, as you can see, goalkeeper-wise, that is if we do sell Vicario and bring in one of those to replace him. Robertson's been linked with a move, I see, in January, was close to actually joining Spurs, and in the end, it didn't go through. And it's a player that I think, if we brought him in, would be a good backup player for us as an experienced player in the team. He wouldn't really get much first-team football, as I would rather focus on the likes of Hidoji if we do keep him. Vlahovic, obviously, has been linked with moves to Spurs quite a lot, which hasn't really materialised, but he's a player that's most likely going to leave Juventus at the end of the season. And Spurs have been a team that have been heavily going for him in the past couple of months, etc. And Igor Thiago has been one of the better performing players in the Premier League this season. The Brazilians had a great season and could be a great player for us to bring in from Brentford, who are also a team that are doing decent but not the best. And we could bring him in to Spurs they would most likely want a lot of money for him, but he could be a great player for us to sign. A player that I've not used yet in this game, a player that's obviously doing great IRL. Could be a fun player to have in the team. And we'll drop in the comments down below transfers you want to see us make, and players you think we should sell. Let's get into the rest of the season. And away from home against Fulham, who will get a 1-1 draw with Tell scoring for us, but Harry Wilson getting a goal for them to earn a point for them at Craven Cottage. And at home against another struggling team in Crystal Palace, we get a 2-0 victory. Romero and Matthias Tell scoring for us in this one to get the 3 points at home here against Palace. Alright, so as you can see in the round of 16 of the Champions League, we've been drew against Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to be an interesting team to face. They're not the best team as they used to be, but they're still a decent squad with some great players in their team. And we'll get into this one. You can see Pedro Porro is going to return to right back for this game and might even start someone like Danzo in the squad for this game. Or Kulusevski could get a start down the wing maybe or at cam. I'm not too sure what I want to do for this game. I feel like I'm going to keep as it is for now as we are still developing. I might give Pat Sarch the game instead of Archie Gray and also Conor Gallagher and see how these two play together. And other than that, keep it as it is. So let's get into this one up against them and hopefully beat Leverkusen here in the first leg so we can see in the second leg and get into the next round at the Champions League. For us to be fair. That's Nathan Teller as well. I see he was great for us in that series as well. Nathan Teller's always a great player in career mode. So we get the ball away with Van der Ven. Unfortunately, Romero steps in there. So a corner here. Worked in by Grimaldo. Header goals by Nathan Teller over the ball there from the former Everton man. I believe he played for Everton or Southampton, one of the two. Ball forward into Tell. Simmons plays it forward into Matthias Tell. And cut it inside. Tell does well, but Yoro Kwanzaa does better there to stop him. Perhaps saw Simmons through to Solanke. Gets it to Simmons. And Xavi Simmons shoots and Flecken makes a save. Grimaldo. Blocked here by Porro. Ball into Solanke. Surprised it actually reached him. Simmons, Solanke, first time effort, Flecken saves. We're looking pretty good in this game. We haven't scored yet. Matthias Tell. Just a play here back into Simmons maybe. Simmons can drive. Great mid there from him. Near post strike. Flecken saves. I needed someone in the centre to pass it to. We lose it again though. It's been a very even game, I will say. Simmons. Here's Solanke. Ball into Conor Gallagher. And Turner can shoot. Gallagher scores at the end of the first half. Conor Gallagher gives us the lead in the round of 16 first leg away and from home in the Bayer Arena against Leverkusen. I will say we've been a better team in this game so far. It's been a fairly even first half. It had a better opening or so, but we've been dominating for the past 20 or 25 minutes or so of the game. And Gallagher here does well, gets inside, bends it into the far corner. Great finisher from him, straight into the top corner of the net. That's a fantastic finisher from him. And it's 1-0 here to us just before the half-time break. You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, they've both been pretty good in the team as we expect. If we do sell Porro, then Spence will play right back. If we sell Adoji, then Spence will play left back. Ball through into Solanke though. And we double our lead here. Solanke running through. Makes it 2. And Dominic Solanke gets his 3rd goal of the season in the Champions League. And obviously in FC25, Solanke in our Spurs career mode was absolutely insane at striker. I'm hoping that he can be the same for us in the season. As he powers that one into the back of the net there. Makes it 2-0. Tapsoba couldn't catch him. And Flecken couldn't deny him. And it's 2-0 here to Spurs. 5 more minutes or so, 10 or so. We'll make a few changes. Bring on Kulusevski. Bring on Pellegrini in midfield. And Charlton at striker as Odobert drives forward. The Frenchman can score. And Odobert makes it 3. And well, what a performance it's been from us. In the first, like I said, 10-15 minutes we were under pressure from Leverkusen, but since then we've been in full control of the game. And Wilson Odobert scores again. Playing right wing now, he actually is officially a right wing in the team. He now has his position. And I think honestly Odobert and Tell as our wingers in this series will be perfect for us. Obviously Kudus coming back from injury will give us an interesting dilemma to start him over Odobert or not. We're 3-0 up here in this game. And we're looking pretty comfortable, so we're going to bring on Richarlison at striker. See what he can do. Kulusevski at cam. Pellegrini and CDM for Conor Gallagher, I think, is a bit more defensive. is perhaps our defensive. I mean, he's decent defensively. Gallagher's play styles. He does have intercepts. So let's keep Patsor on. Defensively, I think I want to make a change. I want to bring on Danzo instead of Romero, give him a run out. And also, let's bring on Souza at left back. Why not? Well, Charleston steals it. There's been a player in the comments of the last video that you guys said we should sell in this series, but I think I'm going to keep him in the team as a good backup player. Odebert denied of a fourth. The Tillman. Leverkusen 3-0 down, but try to find themselves back in this game. As well, Schick there must have seen someone that no one else saw because he played the ball into empty space. Otto who can take him. So I'm going to put a player on the line because I don't want to concede. It's Alejandro Grimaldo. Plays it short actually. Shot taken, poor effort there though from them, and Vicario comfortable save. Ball in by Grimaldo, straight into Gusto Vicario. Ball forward into Richarlison. Can he make it 4 and put this game to bed? Richarlison does make it 4. And we should be through now into the quarterfinals of this Champions League. We're insulting the wounds with the celebration now. Richarlison is. It's a 4-0 win away from home in Leverkusen. And while this team is looking dangerous after a poor first half of the season in the league, but playing good in the Champions League, now with me as manager, we can continue our great performances in the Champions League, but also bring those over to the Prem. And we have done so far, beating obviously Palace in the sim game, beating Arsenal in a played game, and drawing against Fulham, which is a tough game away from home Fulham. So not mad about that draw. And it's a 4-0 win here against Leverkusen in the first leg of the round as it's seen in the Champions League. Well, it's a big win for us. And when it's hard to say we didn't deserve it, we dominated possession, dominated the stats. And Solanke, man of match performance from him again. And Simmons up there as well. Gallagher played great, got the first goal for us, and overall a great performance of the team in this one here. And as you can see, our next game's a big one up against Liverpool. As you can see, we're currently 13th in the table on 36 points, close to the top 10. So we want to get a win here against Liverpool, as we did beat Arsenal. So hopefully we can defeat Liverpool. You'd imagine that if we could beat Arsenal, who were top of the table at the time, we can beat Liverpool. So you imagine that would be the case. But let's get into this game. We're on 49 points. We are on 36 points. So winning here will put us 10 points behind them. Let's get into this one. And I believe we're playing them away from home, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get into this game. I think we're playing them away from home. Yeah, we are. We're playing them at Anfield. Let's get into this game and hopefully defeat Liverpool here. And he still is here, Frimpong. Over here to Salah. Liverpool just patiently bring the ball forward, Verts into Ekitike. He finally just can have a face scan in the game. Shot taken, Vicario, comfortable save there for the Italian. Oh, that's just not what I wanted to do there. There we go, Odebert. Intercepts. Simmons. Odebert's in behind of Kokes. And he's offside though. I need to see that. I need to see the line. If that's offside, I was about to put it across to Solanke. I mean, the line isn't drawn correctly. The foot's behind the white line. The offsides in this game are just... I don't get how they've messed it up, man. Because it worked most of the time in SC25, right? I mean, SC26, pretty much every offside I get is just wrong because the lines are drawn incorrectly. To be fair, it's realistic. But, you know... There's no VR in this game to counteract it and whatever, so when I get screwed out of stuff like that, it's frustrating. Simmons, Odebert, great start to game from him. He kind of gets it across, but Konate blocks it. There's Kokes. Not been the signing that Bournemouth wanted him to be. He's been a decent player for them, yes, but obviously he's made a bunch of mistakes earlier in the season. In this time there, Salah, Vicario makes a save. The header back to Vicario kind of didn't work out. It went straight to Salah pretty much. We just struggle. We can't get involved in this game right now, attacking wise. We can't create anything. Simmons tracking down his fellow Dutchman. Salah up against Jed Spence, ball inside. Porro back stick. Vicario makes a save. And now a single shot. No, I'm trying to pass that. Thank you, Vicario, for saving it, because I tried to pass that to Vicario. Not even joking you. That pass was aimed at Vicario. Simmons into Odebert. Great game he's had so far. Odebert now. We finally get a strike. Odebert shoots. That's our first attempt on goal. Just in general. Matthias Tell. Should be Frimpong. It's going to be tough to do though. Pat Saw. To Gallagher. What is... Okay, game. Conor Gallagher messing up a pass like that. It makes so much sense, game. Like... Ball up wider to Kirkes. Verts inside Van der Ven blocks, who's also been linked heavily to Liverpool this year. Well, I should say, this season. It is frustrating. Thankfully didn't concede there though. If we win this game, it's going to be a miracle, honestly. Slanky here to Tell. Matthias Tell 1-on-1 with Mamadashvili. And Matthias Tell scores. I just said it would be a miracle if we win this game. And we're open to scoring 68 minutes in. And what if we win this game? It's also poor in Liverpool because they have dominated us in this game, attacking wise. We have more possession, yes, but we have struggled in this game. To be fair, this game is against me. You know, you've seen some of the passing in this game. The pass that was meant to go for Vicario went straight to Ekitike. That pass on Gallagher that got just messed up for no reason. The passing in this game is god-awful, but Matthias Tell scores to make it 1-0, we should have to see. And this is why I brought in Adoji. That's why I brought him on, for the energy against Salah late in this game, because I felt like Jesperson was starting to struggle. Van der Ven good challenge. Kuzelski and Richarlison linking up here. They move from us here. This is actually great football. Richarlison's through, and Richarlison makes it 2. That passing play was incredible. This game goes from like brilliance like that, where you can actually pass it around and do nice football, to just the opposite end of it so often. It's such a coin flip of a game with the passing most of the times, but that was incredible. We're 2-0 up against Liverpool, and I can't believe my eyes, because Liverpool should have won this game. They had all the chances in the first half, and they couldn't score. Vicario made some great saves, some good defending from Romero, and also Van der Ven, to be fair at times, but they should at least be getting a draw here. They should win this game realistically, but a win here for us is massive if we don't throw it away in the final like 4 minutes of the game. But I don't understand how we're winning this game 2-0. There was ever a game that I should have lost, it's this one. But then they're going to score straight away. No, Vicario, what a save. Konate cleared of the line by Gallagher. Ball in again, Konate's header. Goalwards, Vicario saves it. I need someone to mark Konate, someone else, because whoever it is right now is struggling. There we go, let's move. Okay, or not. Konate's header again, Goalwards wide and out for another corner. Liverpool have a barrage of corners here to end the second half. Romero wins it, Richarlison. And we get another goal. Kadamawadi. Oh, what is that pass? And it's a 2-0 win against Liverpool. Somehow, we beat them here at Anfield. You can hear the boost in the Liverpool fans. They are pretty calling for the second of honest slot at this moment, because they should have won this game. I'm literally the first time I'm probably gonna ever say I deserve to lose this game. We had 4 shots to their 8, and we scored twice. Vicario, definitely the man of the match for that game. And we're a big 3 points against Liverpool, but we didn't. I'm not going to say we didn't deserve it. We played some decent football at times, but that first half performance from us could have seen us lose this game like 3 or 4-0. But we somehow win it 2-0, which is incredible. Alright, so next up, as you can see, we're facing Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final first leg at home. You can see the other ones are Arsenal v Man City, which is a big game there. Madrid v Galatasaray, I'd give that to Real Madrid easily. I mean, Galatasaray are a decent team, but you'd imagine Real Madrid would get a win down. Liverpool v Atletico Madrid is a close one, but I think I'd give it... I don't know, actually. It's a close game because Madrid obviously just did really well in La Liga recently, winning 4-0 against Barcelona, and Liverpool obviously a pretty decent team on the day as well. So that's going to be a close one to call. But in terms of the Premier League, Chelsea are currently 5th in the table on 50 points. We're currently top 10, which is great, on 42 points. We're not, as you can see, our next game's going to be Sunderland. We're going to sim that one. And we might have to play it actually because they're close to us. I'm not too sure about that. But we're going to make a decision on that when we get to it. But let's get into this game against Chelsea and hopefully advance into the next round of the Champions League here after knocking out the other London team in this one here. But I think it's going to be the biggest players for us to possibly lose next season. Van der Ven, because I feel like loads of teams are going to come in for him. Odobert strikes with Sanchez, makes the save. And what a season Odobert's had, by the way, since I came in as manager. He's been one of my favourite players in this team. Postecoglou recently came out, he said he wanted to sign Pedro Neto for Spurs when he was manager. So we're defending quite nicely there. Matthias Tel. Oh, Solanke. I just feel like Solanke's not really had... In SC25, it was insane for me at striker, but I'm not sure what it is about him in SC26. He just feels slow and sluggish more than ever. Like in SC25, at least, he was just great in front of goal. Neto shoots over the bar, though. And if we do lose Van der Ven, then we also can't forget that we have Vuskovic coming back from loan, so we do have a pretty good like-for-like swap there with Vuskovic coming back. We know how good he is from the grab-back service. Matthias Tel inside, hit Odobert, who wanted the first-time shot for him, but he took a touch, but thankfully in the end, he shot anyway. And the Frenchman, well, the two Frenchmen linking up here to get us the first goal of the game against Chelsea. Have been the better team in this game so far. You've seen they've had a bunch of attacks that they haven't taken. We had a shot earlier that Sanchez saved courtesy of Odobert. And Tel inside. Odobert took the touch. I wanted the first on strike, but it worked out for us in the end. He puts it through the legs of the keeper and gives us a 1-goal lead here against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. And could we do one of the most insane things possible? Finishing not inside the top 4 in the Premier League, but also win the Champions League. That would be insane if we do so. So winning the Champions League in the series right now is not going to be the most realistic thing if I manage to do it. But at the end of the day, if I win the games, I win the games. Oh. Neto. Interesting cross. That's going to be dealt with by Odobert. And Tel can get another. Love that from you. Simmons on a break. Odobert, here he goes again. The Frenchman who's broken into the squad and has performed absolutely incredible misses. You can't do that after I hype you up like that, bro. You've got to score, Odobert. You've got to score there. Simmons is in there low against him. There's Solanke. Great ball through. Odobert backstick, great play, Matthias Tel. That low-driven cross from Odobert was picture perfect. That's exactly what I wanted there. I'm surprised it worked. And Matthias Tel, well, Odobert returns the favour. And the two Frenchmen combine again, but the pass from Solanke to open up to start that attack was incredible. That ball right there. Odobert then first time across the box. Tel put a tap in. Simplest goal to score probably all season or series long. And we're 2-0 up here against Chelsea. Ole's been brought out by the Spurs fans. Karamawani. Kulusevski through to Mohamed. Kudos back from injury. What a moment that is for him to score in his first return. From his first attempt as well on goal. We're 3-0 up against Chelsea in the Champions League. We're just a different team, it seems like. Kulusevski with the assist. And Kudus with a goal. And this gives us a different... I think for our next game we're going to play, I'm going to play Tel at striker, Odobert left and Kudus right wing. I'm going to try that out and see how that works for us. So I feel like Solanke's a player we could keep up as a backup striker, but I feel like we need to phase him out the team and bring through someone like a Matthias Tel at striker, a younger talent. Oh, God, the football we're playing now is incredible. Bezeski. Ball over the top. Kadamawani. To Kudus. It's 4 and it's 2 for Kudus. The second that passing play started, I knew I was going to score there. But I was kind of worried about the pass with Kadamawani right here to shoot or pass, and I thought, you know what? Let's head it across to Kudus. He hits it on the volley, beats Sanchez for a second time. And what a return, what a statement for Kudus in the team to come back from injury, score 2 goals for us here to make it 4-0. You can see what it means to him, you can see what it means to the team as well and the fans, having a player like Kudus back from injury and performing as well as he is doing. It's going to be another 4-0 win for us in the first leg of a Champions League. We did it against Leverkusen, we'll do it against Chelsea here. And we should be through to the semi-finals. We're going to sim the second leg. But let's get back to Premier League football. And in the next game I'm going to play, I'm going to try, like I said, tell that striker, Odebert left wing and Kudus right wing. But what a game defensively we had, by the way. Romero and also Van der Ven were great. As you can see, they only had 2 shots, Chelsea. They were poor attacking wise. Matthias Tal, man of the match. And you can see Odebert, Kadamawani, Kudus and also Van der Ven up there in the ratings. That's another big victory for us in the series against Chelsea in the Champions League here. Alright, so next up it is the Champions League semi-finals against the team we've already beaten in the first game of this episode in Arsenal. So we beat them in that North London derby in the Premier League for my first game as manager of the team. And as you can see, the other semi-finals also another derby in Real Madrid v Atletico Madrid. So 2 rivals of their cities respectively here taking part in the semi-finals. Kind of fun to see this, not going to lie. You know, seeing like the Madrid derby and also the North London derby take place in the semi-finals here for a spot in the final there's a lot more on the line when it is something like this. You know what I mean? If it's like Spurs v PSG, it's a big game, yes, but when it's Spurs v Arsenal, there's more on the line, especially when there's a spot in the final up for grabs. Let's get into this 1-0 against them and hopefully beat them again and advance into the final. For this game, we all got to play Talat striker, Kudus at right wing, and Odebert at left wing to see how that plays for us in this team here. Simmons, who are now trying to be a classic 10, by the way. And number 7, puts it back here. Simmons bends it. Good attempt. Raya, comfortable save though. Odegaard to Zubimendi, who in that first game we played against Arsenal was the most attacking player in their team. Gyökeres is Van der Ven. It might be one of the most, random transfer winners I've ever done in a Chromo, because I don't think I've ever finished outside the top 4 and not won the won the Champions League. Odebert, why not? Odebert hits it, good attempt, Ryder again, comfortable save there. Oh, why did I do that? Spence, you got to cover there because I made a massive error stepping up there with Van der Ven for no reason. And I've been made to pay because of it. I don't know why I pressured Gyökeres with Van der Ven the way I did. I thought I could get to him in time before he passed it, but Saka puts Arsenal 1 goal to the good. And that's on me. First short defensive mistake I made, and I get punished for it. Fair enough. I can't really complain about the goal because I was the person in the wrong for that. Oh, the passing. Oh, lovely play here. How does the passing go from awful to incredible in the blink of an eye? How does that happen? We're back in this game 1-1. Matthias Tel scores. You heard me groan about the passing, and then we did that afterwards. That's what I mean about the flip of the coin. Like I said previously in this episode, one pass goes wrong. Next thing you know, you put out in the same passing sequence and score a goal at the end of it. And just after conceding, we score a goal. As to the old-fashioned saying in football, is you're most vulnerable when you just scored. Which now we are on the receiving end of that one, so hopefully we can not do so. We also have Bentancur back from injury, by the way, so he's a good player for us to have back in the team as a backup player. A player that I don't want to sell, Bentancur, so he's always a great player in the game. I really like him. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm playing Jed Spence at left back instead of Edozie, I just prefer Jed Spence in real life as well. I just feel like he's much more of a more competent defender than Udogie is. I think Udogie makes more mistakes than Jez Spence does. Udogie is younger. As we pull out some great play again. Odobert charging forward. Can he make it 2? What hearing he does. Odobert scores to give us a lead in this game. And what a season he's having, by the way. Obviously, he was incredible for us in the RFC 25 series, that left wing. He literally broke into the squad after we sold Son. Even before that, he broke into the squad. He literally performed incredible as a lower-rated player on the team and was insane for us. And hopefully in this series he can continue these performances, because this season so far, he has been world-class for us at right wing, now playing left wing again. He scores here. So the 2 Frenchmen with a goal so far, Tell and Odobert. It was a 2-1 lead coming towards the half-time break. And are we about to have an insane season where we finish outside the top 4 in the Prem and maybe win the Champions League? Gyökeres trying to drag Arsenal back into the game now. They could do so here though. Saka, Vicario, good save. Archer, great. I very liked the team, by the way. Great move, Tell. And to beat Saliba and hold it off. That's great from Matthias Tell. That's a great save from Raya though, but that play from Tell there was world class. That movement there was so good. Granted, I did it, but the fact Tell pulled it off is great. That's a great strike and a great save. Yeah, also here looking dangerous. Ball through to Gabriel Martinelli running forward. He chips Vicario. It hits the post though, but Van der Ven runs it out for a corner. I hate that they do that in this game. There's Van der Ven right there in real life. It's not going to knock that out for a corner. And Martinelli just after hitting the post, goes off, Trossard on. And we get lucky there. We get very lucky we didn't concede. Palhinha. Kudelski through to Odobert. If we can score here, that would be big for us. Odobert, straight up Raya. Lifts it up, Raya collects it. No, he should have scored, he should have scored, he should have scored. Gyökeres. Last chance of the game, possibly for Arsenal here. They shoot. And no penalty, thankfully. They could have go. 2 minutes left. If we can score at the end of this game, it will be massive. Kudus across. Odobert in. That touch. That touch. Was annoying. But we get a 2-1 win in the first leg of the semi-final in the Champions League away from home. So it means to the fans that they can't believe their team is possibly about to be in the Champions League final. We deserve to win the game, to be fair. But Martinelli should have scored that chip shot. He should have scored. He got unlucky to hit the post. Matthias had a striker at a 10.0 rating. So maybe that's a sign that he should be our first team striker moving forward. And a great performance overall from this team. I'm kind of disappointed in Kudus in this game, but I feel like the other players in the team just were great and he kind of just fell behind him a little bit. Alright, so we'll go straight into the second leg against Arsenal. After we won the first one 2, but I didn't feel comfortable simming the second leg, so we're playing this one here at home, and hopefully we can get through to the final, which again would be insane for us to reach the final. And we are playing the same lineup as last time. With Tell back at strike. He was injured for 5 days, did miss a game against Aston Villa in the midweek that we simmed and got a 2-2 draw. Kudus though, forward, shoots and scores. What a start to the game. And Mohamed Kudus, who expressed disappointment in the last leg, scores a great goal here to open up the game. That's a great finish. Like, that is a world-class finisher for Mohamed Kudus. We obviously can play a bunch of positions for us. Can play right wing, left wing, cam, striker. And that finish there is insane. We might have to try him at striker, but I feel like Matthias Tell would be a better striker for us than Kudus. But both of them can try out the striker position at some point and absolutely ruin Arsenal here in the second leg. And Kudus again. Gets inside, finds Matthias Tell. That should have been a goal. Martinelli does Gallagher intercepted again. Matthias Tell. Kudus, Simmons, back into Kudus. And Kudus denied by Raya. You know, as it would IRL, would a player to get there very quickly. Gyökeres shoots. Vicario makes a save. See if he scored at the end of that first leg, sorry. So we're getting the attack with Van der Ven. We know we can do this IRL. Van der Ven to Kudus. Inside, bends it. Wide of the post though. Let's see how that works for us. Kudus. Simmons. Wide of the post. We should be like 4 goals up in this game. Back into Odegaard. Zubimendi, Martinelli. Saka shoots spots by Romero. Odegaard to Tell. Simmons. Kudus here on the counter. Show Simmons now. Ball through to Kudus. Great play. Kudus holds it up. Back into Odegaard. And Raya again with a save. How have we only scored 1 goal in this game? I don't understand that we only have scored 1 goal in the second leg so far. Kudus does that for you. And Kudus is still going here. They're giving the room. Kudus shoots. And he should have scored. What is going on? Like, how have we not scored like 4 goals? That's got to be a goal here, Kudus. You've got to score that. TSL. Odegaard. It's Tell now. Lovely move there from him. And again cuts back Tell. Shoots. Hits the crossbar. How in the world have we only scored 1 goal in the second leg? I don't get it, man. We should have scored like 6 by now. Odegaard's in. Odegaard. Kudus is there, thankfully, because that was a chipped header, by the way. We finally get a second goal in this game. Kudus scores. It's 4-1. We're going to sim the rest of the game. But I don't understand how we haven't won this game like 6-0 at this point in the second leg. As we have dominated this game. Thankfully, Kudus was awake there because I tried to chip with Odegaard, the keeper there. We did technically do it, but the header didn't have enough on it to get into the goal. And thankfully, Kudus was there to sweep it up and make it 4-1 for us. It's 7 to the end. And we should be through to the final of the Champions League here. And we are. We finally get 2 more goals in this game. There we go. 4-1, 4-0 level, or 6-0, 6-1, sorry. And a well-deserved scoreline for us in this game because we dominated Arsenal in this whole tie. And we're through to the final of the Champions League, which is mental. Alright, so as you can see, our next game is up against Chelsea in the Premier League. That is because, as you'll see by the league table, we're currently 8th in the table on 55 points. Liverpool in the Conference League positions are only on 58. Newcastle in the Europa League are on 59. And there's 2 games after the season, but we also are going to be in the Champions League final. But let's say we don't win the Champions League, we want one of these 2 positions. We need European football next season to keep hold of players. And if we do get Europa League or Conference League, it's not enough to keep the likes of Van de Ven probably in the squad. But it's enough to kind of entice players to the team to replace some players that we might lose in the transfer window if we sell some big name players, and also to kind of keep hold of some players as well, to be like, look, we didn't have the best season last season, but a full season next season as BS manager, we can take this team into top 4, we can win maybe the Premier League and also do well in the Champions League. But obviously, if we do win the Champions League this season, then that gives us a big, I get a big boost in the transfer window next season to keep hold of players and also sign players. And I think I still would like to sell a big player, maybe like a Van de Ven. I feel like he's most likely going to leave. Corio has been open about leaving the team, and we could sign a goalkeeper, like I mentioned at the start of the episode. But let's get into our next game against Chelsea before we get into the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, and hopefully just give ourselves a backup plan in case of Atletico Madrid do beat us, because they beat Real Madrid to reach the final, so they're not a team we should take lightly. Let's get into this game against Chelsea. We know we can beat them. Let's hopefully do it again here to leapfrog them in the table and hopefully get into the top 6. At Stamford Bridge, and leapfrog them in the table to hopefully get into the top 6. If Liverpool lose to Villa, that would be big for us, and I'll see if West Ham can somehow do the job against Newcastle. That would be big as well. Matthias Tell. I'm still trying to figure out what I want Simmons to play as. He's back as a shot striker for this game. I did play him as a playmaker in the last game, and Tell just okay, he just blasted that so far wide. That was such a bad miss, and I don't know how we got that so wrong. Esteval playing right wing. I do want to do a Chelsea series at some point to obviously use Esteval. I've not used him yet in the game. That's why I need to get back into making rebuild content so I can use more players. Archie Gray hits it. Robert Sanchez makes a save. Odobert in. Simmons coming ahead of Champong de So. Odobert wins it though. Odobert shoots Sanchez with a save. We're looking pretty good in this game so far. So this is a must-win for us. Conor Gallagher, former Chelsea player, hits it wide of the post. Brilliant. Ball in. Comfortable save there for Vicario to make. Matthias Tell. Through to Kudus. Goes inside. Kudus hits it and Kudus scores. That's poor defending from a Champong, who we know is a great defender. We used him in this game in our previous series, which I can't remember which one it was now, but he was a great defender for us in that team. Mohamed Kudus here makes it 1-0. What a return to the team he's had. So it's brought in from West Ham. I expect to be a big player for Spurs. Had some great performances before his injury. And since coming back from injury here in this series, has picked up where he left off. With some big goals for us. Some great performances. He cuts inside and bends it into the far corner there. And makes it 1-0 to us. Kudus to Simmons, and that should be a goal, but we still haven't scored there. How did we not score there? Andrew Santos gets the ball off him. And that's going to be a 1-0 win against Chelsea, which might see us be in the top 6 if we have results our way go elsewhere, or results elsewhere go our way. But it's a big win for us here. Chelsea had 0 shots in this game. I didn't even know that. I thought they had shots, not going to lie. I thought they had a few chances in goal, but they didn't have a single one. Alright, so as you can see, unfortunately, we only managed to finish 7th in the Premier League. 1 point off Conference League football, with Newcastle finishing 62 points ahead of us. 1 point ahead of us, sorry. Unfortunately for us, only 3 points behind the Europa League positions, which is kind of annoying. We didn't get guaranteed European football for next season, but that means that going into this Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, it is quite literally all or nothing, because if we win the Champions League, we are Champions League winners. We are Champions League football for next season. That means more money, better players. We have the moniker of being the best team in Europe after winning this competition, which is kind of meant if we are finishing 7th in the Premier League and we are winning the Champions League, but it is where it is. But it also means we have some pulling power on keeping players at the club and also bringing better players in. I think still a player like Van der Ven would most likely leave us next season to a team that are better than us. Maybe a Liverpool if they did come in for him, a team like Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, a big team like that, Bayern Munich, etc. But right now, this is literally everything. So let's look at the very good Atletico Madrid team that they do have. I see right now they're doing pretty decent in our Liga for themselves. So Alvarez sort of up front, with Baena at left mid, Cardoso, Barrios, Simeone, Llorente, Puberi at the centre back with Jimenez, Hanko, and also Oblak in goal. You imagine that team looks more like Griezmann at striker, and obviously they've recently signed Adabel Lutman and Norman at centre back. So they've got a pretty good team. Let's get into this UCL final against Atletico Madrid, and hopefully someone will walk out of here Champions League winners. Koke in the team as well, the captain, I do believe anyway. And this is the most pressure I have felt for a UCL final, I think, ever. Because usually in Champions League finals, unless it's a rebuild, I know, I'm most likely going to win. Or it's the final game of the series, and the team at that point is pretty much guaranteed to win the final. But right now, I have no expectations of us winning this game, but we're going to try our best to do so. Atletico Madrid are a decent team, but a team we can definitely beat. In the Champions League this season, where we have been pretty good, obviously beating 2 teams 4-0 in the knockout stages. Simmons into Odobert. Jimenez as well. Wanted a distant to the drop back and needed there, which means good steal. Kudus. Simmons. Ball inside here to Matthias Tell. Can turn, he can shoot, and he can score. I didn't expect I was going to score there. When I cut back the first time, and Jimenez, I think it was, read it, I was like, okay, we can't score here. So I did it again to try and work the angle and read it for a second time, but somehow, you see this cut back here, I thought, okay, we're done for at this point. With two defenders ahead of us, I thought that was not going to go in. Jimenez, I thought was going to block it. The long man couldn't stop us. Black couldn't make the save. And it's 1-0 hit was... It's most likely going to be a yellow card for him. Oh no, Alvarez. How frustrated we conceded there. I am frustrated we conceded there. Because I'm not so sure who it was who got the ball. It was Jed Spence here. I just couldn't, he just was taking touches for no reason. And I couldn't do anything with him. And Vicario could have saved it. It's 1-1. Only one goal apiece so far. I see Atletico Madrid are a very defensive team. And Spurs, in the past couple of seasons, have been a more defensive focused team. Also under me, they're more attacking. Gallagher hits it against his former team of Black, though, with a save. Good work, left and right. Simmons. Tiestel. Back into Xavi Simmons. It's 2-1. I patiently waited there for a pass to open up. I thought Odegaard was going to make the run, and he didn't do it. He had 3 attempts to try and make a run and just didn't make it either time. And I was kind of worried. I was kind of waiting for that run to be made. But then Simmons made the run for the centre and scores it to make it 2-1 to us, put us back in the lead. And you can see right there, I was waiting for Odegaard to commit to the run. Then Simmons made the run last second. So I thought, you know what, let's give him the ball. He hits it first time, scores, and makes it 2-1. Yeah, Spence, so great. How's he not got a yellow card for that foul on Llorente in the first half? Kudus running at David Hanko. Ball in, Tell. Couldn't flick it on Lomand as well. Got that wider to find Simeone. Spence up against him. Now inside here. That's going to be not 2-2. Koke puts it wide. Kudus, Tell. Back into Mohamed Kudus. He bends it. What a finish. Now that's an insane finish. That's an incredible, what a goal from Kudus. That is insane. That made us win as the Champions League. We're 3-1 up. Julian Alvarez feeds it through into Barrios, who shoots, and Van der Ven blocks it. There's a big block there from the Dutchman. And Jimenez scores the header. It's 3-2. What a final this has been, by the way. It's probably the most entertaining Champions League final I've played in a long time. Usually they're pretty straightforward. But Jimenez makes it 3-2 and puts him back in this game. Tiestel forward. And Odebert wrap the game up. Yes, he can. Wilson Odebert has just won Spurs the Champions League. It's 4-2. What a season he's had. What a season we've had since I came in as manager. At the start of February, I came in as manager. We've not lost a single game in a played game or in a sim. I think we've lost one against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. We already won that game 4-0, the first leg anyway, so the second leg didn't matter. We haven't lost a played game. We haven't lost a game in general since that mattered realistically. the Champions League as Lookman knows trying to get another consolation goal for Atletico Madrid. He might actually do so. Over to Barrios, support finisher from him. And there we go. We have won the Champions League. I don't know what to say, but that is insane. It's maybe one of our biggest achievements in career mode. Granted, we still have a decent team, yes, but we shouldn't have won the Champions League this season. There shouldn't have been a possibility for us. We were 16th in the table when I took over as manager. We finished 7th in the table in the Premier League. We're knocked out of both cup competitions domestically. We had so many injuries in this squad to big players. But our youth players, players or young talents like Odebert, Tell, etc. have stepped up. And Spurs have won the Champions League. In season 1, the first episode of the series, I've won the Champions League. This could end here. Yeah, I mean, usually I end my career after winning the Champions League. But I want to win everything with Spurs, so we're going to do another season. But Romero steps up to lift the Champions League trophy. And what an episode this has been. I've had a lot of fun recording this episode, by the way. I don't know if you can tell from the episode the way you probably could tell if you words that would be great. I'm kind of just shocked. This is happening right now. We have won the Champions League. Alright, so in terms of our best players stats-wise, you can see Richarlison was 16 and 8. A bunch of those were in the second team. But Richarlison's been a great player for us in this team. Obviously, in real life, he's been a good player for Spurs this season. Mohamed Kudus, since coming back from injury, 13 and 5. He's done more to really have a massive season for us in this team. Like, he came back from injury. It's been a big reason why we managed to finish 7th in the table and also win the Champions League. Matthias Tell, he is great. He's going to be our first team striker next season. A Champions League winner here now at Spurs. 11 goals and 8 assists. Odebert, 9 and 6 from him at left wing and right wing this season. Obviously, he's been great for us. Van der Ven, I see a bunch of this on from real life for similar Romero in terms of goals he has scored. Cullen Mawani, I think we're going to just let him go back to PSG. And the same with Pellegrini, we're going to let him go back to Bayern. I think they're players that are I'm more likely to sign Cullen Mawani than I am Pellegrini. You know what I mean? Pellegrini is a decent player, yes, but I feel like he doesn't really offer as much in their team. But Cullen Mawani is a backup player. Could be decent for us as a backup striker. Can also play left wing or right wing if we needed him to. I think he could be an alright player for us to sign, but how much is he worth? He's worth about 20 million. So depending on the money we have next season, I think we could sign him. Dominic Solanke in 19 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. Not amazing from him, not bad from him. At the end of the day, he was out injured for a while. And obviously, Xavi Simons, 4 goals and 9. And I think next season we're going to see much more Xavi Simons. He played great for us in this team. Since I came in as manager. Archie Gray, by the way, what a play he is in midfield. I feel like he is such a great player. Kudus only played 16 games for us, was out injured for a while, will be a big player for us next season. But yeah, drop it in comments down below. Players who you think we should sell for this team, because in terms of first team players, for me, there's 3 players we could sell. Pedro Porro, could be a player where they go off. Spence goes right back. Udoji goes left back. Van der Ven leaves us to go to a big team. It would have to be a big team for Van der Ven. I think that's the only player that I'm if a big team comes in for him, I'm more likely to accept it, but it's going to be a big team outside of England. It's going to be like a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a Barcelona, Juventus, something like that. And Vicario has expressed that he would like to maybe leave Spurs at the end of the season IRL, so we could let him go and buy a new first-team goalkeeper, like I said at the start of the episode. But in terms of players coming back from loan, we need to take that into consideration because, like I said, we've got some great players coming back from loan. We've got some young talents we could use. Vuskovic is going to be back from loan, so maybe he could come into the first team. I think I want to bring him into the first team. We've got Velic, I think I might sell him to make space in the team. I'll loan him out, I'm not too sure. We've got Ashley Phillips back from loan from Stoke. Takai back from Gladbach. Alfie Devine back from Preston. Scarlett, I think I might sell him. Madder Solomon we're going to let go as well. Iro, Lancashire, Abbott, Hall, some players. Yamin Hyuk is back from loan as well. And also, a player that's already back from his loan spell this year at the end of the season is Mikey Moore, who's back from loan, which was to see. So he's going to be a big player for us in season 2 as a backup in the team. And yeah, season 2 is going to be a big season for us to win, hopefully the Prem, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and retain the Champions League. Drop in the comments below, players you want to see us sign and maybe selling this team. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and subscribe. And as always, well, goodbye.